All right, welcome to the Career Build Series Part 22. All right, so in this video, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to we're going to start resource trading, but one thing we'll do before that is I'm actually going to put in my ADF navigation system. And so I don't want to put a full autopilot in this little boat, but what I want to do is I'm going to put in my ADF navigation system. So I'm going to grab it off the Rotodyne. Rotodyne's on the workshop if you wish to use it. So let's kind of look over how this ADF system is going to work. So an ADF is based off an old type of airplane navigation system. I had to learn how to use that in my flight training, and it's actually a kind of cool system and has a cool history with it. So what each major city would have a radio station, an AM radio station back in the day, and so one of the ways that you could navigate a plane was you had a dial inside of the plane, and you would tune a radio frequency. And when you tune the radio frequency, that dial would point directly to the antenna of the AM radio station. So say you wanted to go from Boston to Worcester, Mass. And so you would say you're leaving Boston, right? You would put in the Worcester, the local Worcester AM radio station, and the needle would point right to it. So from Boston to Worcester is about west. So yeah, it's west. So let's say it's a 270 heading. It's probably not, but let's say it's a 270 heading. So the needle would point to Worcester at 270. So you'd start heading 270, and then the needle would move maybe a little bit to right. So you'd move a little bit to the right. So that way you can fly from one place to the other. Well, that's what I have it in here on the Rotodyne. So we're going to put this in our boat. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to use the map. We're going to input a waypoint. That waypoint is going to point directly to where we want to go. All right, so it's going to tell us some other information. This needle is going to point at all times to where our waypoint is. It's going to also tell us the distance in nautical miles. And it's also going to tell us the time, how long it's going to take us to get there. All right, and so we also have a digital three digits here. So what's going to happen is when we enter in the waypoint, it's going to tell us what heading we need to turn to. So let's say we're heading north, right? We're facing north, 360. All right, let's say that the station is 090 to the east. The needle will be pointing directly to our right, and it would say 090. Well, if we turned, in our case, it's going to be our boat to 090, we would head right to the waypoint. It would tell us it's 20 nautical miles away. If we're doing 10 knots, it would tell us it's going to take us 2 hours to get there. This will go off when we're within a half a mile of the station. So I actually forget what this one is up here. That's AP Master Gyro. We're not going to need that. So I'm going to copy this out of here. So I'm going to do selection grid. I'm actually going to cut them because I want to get all the connections. So we're going to move/cut. And then I hope this isn't connected to 1,000 different things, which it probably is. So what is this? Let's start looking at the connections here, what everything's connected to. All right, I need to paste it. Let's paste that. All right, let's look at our connections here. So this goes to, okay, that's the bearing panel, and this is probably going to the autopilot. Yep, so that's fine. We don't need that. All right, so let's go to, there's a cool system I might be able to add here with that. So let's go to bearing panel. Bearing panel is the one we need. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll select that. We'll cut that. All right. And then let's find some other things. We need things like GPS, most likely. All right, so I'm going to put this all together so that I can take it as one unit, and we'll put it in our boat. So the reason, I was going to just go ahead and do resource trading, but one of the reasons I decided to put this system in is, we're going to have to stay on a certain course for a long time, and we're going to be guessing what the heading is. This will tell us exactly what heading we have to go to. All right, so let's look at what we have here. So we need to grab this waypoint, this panel. This panel is what we enter our waypoint into. So what we do is we put a waypoint on the map, and then we can enter it onto this keypad, and that's how we tell the system where we want to go. So that goes there. All right. All right, let's look what else we have here. All right, so that's the keypad. Then we need to have our GPS receiver here. So let's cut that and let's move that over. And let's put that on here. And I'll actually, I'll save this up so it's easier to do in the future. And I'll also, probably post in the workshop at some point. Okay, let's see what else we have for connections. So we have one other thing that's most likely a compass sensor, which, we don't need it, but I'm going to cut it just because I'm going to make a, I'm just going to cut it because I'm actually going to make this something, its own save so that in the future, if I need it, I can do it. So this will have all the components it needs. And we'll merge that. We'll make sure this has all the components that it needs. All right, so that's fine. Okay, so what is this? This is backlight. Okay, so we're perfect here. Let's go ahead and we'll select all of this. And this whole unit here we can cut. Let's make a new one here. We'll connect this to this block here. And then we'll have our ADF panel that we can utilize to do navigation. So I like this system better than a kind of a modern, fancy moving map, just because this requires a little bit more input from you. It also, requires you to pilot a little bit. So it's more fun for me than just having a system that does it all for you. All right, so let's save this as ADF navigation system. All right. Okay, ADF navigation system. All right, so that's saved. So let's go ahead and we'll take the whole thing in. We'll copy it. Let's go into our Build Series 21 boat. And let's start to install this. All right. All right, so so right here, let's look at the nodes. So we already have a compass. I think it's right here. We have a compass sensor. So we don't need the one that we brought in. Let's see where the compass is plugged in, bearing panel. Okay, let's see where our compass is connected. So compass is right here. That's compass. So let's use the compass we already have in the boat. We can delete this one. All right, so we need to put our GPS. We're just going to stick it on the roof for now, which is where it'd be anyways. But we may want to build a little bit of a mast at some point. All right, so that can go there. All right, so let's. So we need to put this system in here. And we need to put that keypad. All right, so let's see how we want to do it. I think I'll put these side by side maybe. And then I'll put the keypad maybe right here. Yeah, I think we'll do that. All right, so let's do that. Let's put these side by side. Nope, actually, this is going to be tough because I need these lined up. Okay, so this is what we'll do here. We'll actually move these around a little bit. So let's do this. Let's paste that like that. All right, I'm going to change where my gauges are. So this will make it a little bit more complicated, but it won't be too bad. All right, so what we're going to do is we need to move. So this is the top digit. This is the middle digit. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this here, which tells us if we're within a half a mile. And we're going to move that to here. We're going to move this digit here down here. So this one here is bearing 210s. It's a 7-segment backlight signal number in 6. All right, so we'll go to 3. All right, so 2, we'll go bearing 210s. And that will go to 3. This will be a 7-segment. It'll be a backlight signal. It'll be a number, and there'll be number 6. Okay. And then this one here is going to change to 7. That's going to be our waypoint is less than 0.5 nautical miles. All right, that's going to be an indicator light. All right, so that, as you can see, that fixed that. That puts these in a row. What's this? Yeah, that's not bad. I can move this dial up here, but that's not bad. Trying to think which one. This one's going to point. This is going to be our pointer needle. So I actually want to move this here. I know it's a little bit annoying, but I'm going to do it anyways. So this one here, 2 is going to be our ADF direction to waypoint, and then 3 is going to be our time to waypoint. So we're going to swap these. So we're going to make 3, 2, and 2, 3. This will be ADF direction to waypoint. This will be time to waypoint. Okay, negative 120, 120. And this one will be 0, 60. Okay, good. So what this is going to do is, let's look at it. So this needle is going to always point to our waypoint, so that we could just turn the boat, and if this needle's pointing straight up and down, that's going to be right to our waypoint. This is going to tell us the time to our waypoint. This is going to tell us how many nautical miles. I'll double check that. It should be nautical miles. Nautical miles to waypoint. All right, so that's just set up so it'll fit better. And then what I'm going to do is this one here in my airplane, that was the AP master, and it turned the gyro on. What this is going to do is I'm eventually have to set this up, but what I want to do is be able to press this button, and actually, yeah, I'm going to press this button, I think, and the heading hold will go to whatever number this says. So that'll be something heading hold to bearing. All right, so what that's going to do is, say the bearing, say we're heading north and we want to go 090, and this says the waypoint's at 090. I want to make it so that if I press this button, it automatically makes the heading hold go to 090. All right, so that's set up. Let's cut this. So again, like I said, one of the things that Career is really good for when you're doing builds is it shows you what your build needs. As you can see, we thought, I thought I was ready to go do this resource trading mission, and it kind of showed me that it was going to be tough if I didn't have some sort of navigation system to help me get there. I'm just using Dead Reckoning, just using landmarks at the moment to find my way there. Well, that's going to be pretty tough. This is going to allow us to more easily track ourselves to where we need to go. And then I might not be able to put this keypad where I wanted it, so I'm going to have to play around with this. I can put it in the front dash, isn't a big deal. But okay, is that going to cause me problems? I don't think it is. I think I can put that keypad right here. So let's paste that there, make sure it doesn't delete anything. Nope, looks like it fits. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the keypad's in. Let me make sure the paint's correct. Paint's being annoying. Okay, there we go. Come on. Okay. All right, so that's painted up nicely. All right, so the next thing is just this, is just the microcontroller, which is fine. That can go underneath. All right. All right, so that's all set. We need to hook up. Let me test it. I want to see how far off we are from where we need to be. I think we're pretty good, actually. All right, let's test it. And if something's broken, we're in test world. We have infinite electricity's not on, which is fine. I want to actually connect all my electricity up. So if you remember, I wanted to connect like systems to like systems. So I'm going to connect the sensor to the sensor. That we'll connect that there. This will be connected to the panel. And that should be it. Let's spawn it in. I think we're all powered up now. All right, so I can show you how the system works. All right, so our current heading is, somewhere south of east. I think it was like 140 maybe. All right, so let's go ahead and let's look at. Actually, I need to put a backlight on there. I'll never see it. So let's go to Logic, Data, and then when systems come on, I need my backlights to turn on, and that needs a backlight as well. What's that? Backlight. That doesn't have a backlight either, so let's make that have a backlight. All right, so let's spawn it now. So my numbers will come up when the backlight's on. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll turn our master power and our systems on. Now we have a number. Okay, good. So now what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you how the system works. All right, so we're headed about 140. All right, so now let's say I want to go to this island. All right, so I want to go right here to the island. So I'm going to put a waypoint on my map, set waypoint. All right, now I can see it in this world. In the career, we're not going to be able to see 3D waypoints. So as you can see, I can't see it anymore. So how do I navigate to that island, right, if I can't see it? Well, I use this system now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in the waypoint. So I just click E. I go to here to the input waypoint. I'm going to do submit. And now if we look at our bearing 2, it shows us a heading of 213. Now remember, I said this needle is going to point to the waypoint. It's pointing right to the waypoint. All right, so we know we need to turn right. So a right turn of, if we head 213, is going to take us to the waypoint. That is 1.99 nautical miles. Now, if you notice, the time to waypoint's going crazy, which I need to put a clamp on that at some point so it doesn't do this. The reason it's going crazy is we're not moving, so it can't calculate how long it's going to take to go there. So let's go ahead and start up, and we'll use this system really quick. All right, so now we're moving. All right, so now I'm going to put a heading of 213 in. So I want to go to my heading hold, right? And I'm going to put in 213, 213. And I need to fix why, you know, my rudder limiter's not working. All right, so now as you see, we turned. It's 216 now. Well, that's because we're still moving forward. So let's just change that from 213 to 216. And you'll 217 now, so we'll put 217 in. All right, so now as you notice, we're going straight to that island, right? So we can do this type of navigation even if, let's say, the fog is 100%, the rain's 100%, right? We can't see the island anymore at all, but we can use this navigation system to get there. Now, we should be afraid of crashing on the rocks, right? As you can see, we're 1.6 nautical miles away. It's going to take us 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes to get there. So it'll take us 3 minutes to get there. Well, this is going to tell us, hey, you have 30 seconds left. Be careful. Well, when we get within a half a nautical mile, it's going to flash at us as well. So let's do that. Let's get ourselves there. All right, so this navigation system's really nice because it's going to allow us, even in the soup and pea soup here, to navigate. Now, you know, a lot of people would throw in a moving map. I'm not a huge fan of that, especially in a small boat like this. You know, I kind of like to do these things old school, like to do them manually by hand and actually control the vehicle myself, and kind of teach some of the older systems of navigation. All right, so we're currently, you know, 1.16 nautical miles away. It's going to take us 2 minutes, so we only have 2 minutes to go. When we get within a half a mile, it's going to flash green light. That's going to tell us, hey, be careful. You're coming up on your waypoint. You need to stop. All right. All right, so this is really going to help us when we start doing resource trading. Remember, we're going to have to go long distances. We're going to have to go from here all the way out to buy our, you know, buying our fuel. This is going to allow us to go walk away and do something else, not have to manually keep trying to turn. And if we're in this pea soup, remember it's a career save. We could easily get a situation where we're socked in the weather. We want to be able to know where we're going with, we can't just do it by looking. So we needed that navigation system, so I'm glad I put that in there. All right, so we're currently about a minute away from this island. We're almost half a mile, so notice what happens at half a nautical mile. All right, see the green light starts flashing? That tells us, hey, you're approaching your waypoint. All right, so that tells us we need to be careful, especially in this boat, that we're going to hit something, right? We're going to hit an island. We're going to the island. So it tells us to be ready to stop. Now, if we were to pass that, we can't pass it because we're going to hit the island first, but we'd notice the time to waypoint would start to increase. the time to waypoint would go negative because we're going away from it, and the distance would start to increase again because we're going away from it. So that's how we could tell we passed our waypoint. As you notice, the needle's pointing straight ahead of us because the waypoint's straight ahead of us. 225. The closer we get, the faster the number is going to move. We don't have to worry about it. So here we go. There's the island, right? All right. So now you can see it's moving really fast. Well, that's because we're super close to it. But as you can see, even in the weather, we're able to navigate utilizing this system. It's a real simple system, but it's very effective. And so, you know, kind of took a detour in this video to put in this system. I thought that was important to try to get that in. We'll work on this later here where we have essentially, so like I said, what I want to do is the ability to, when we press this, it will keep changing the heading hold to this number. That way it will automatically track to it. So I'm going to probably figure that out on my own. I'm not very good with memory registers, so we'll go ahead and I'll do that on my own. But we'll call that it for the Career Build Series Part 22, and then hopefully we'll be able to get into start doing our resource trading in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.